The DMV admits to a big blunder tonight, and it could affect you the next time you vote.
Yeah, the department discovered it made an error with voter registrations.
Tens of thousands of Californians may have their political party and other preferences changed without even knowing it. CBS 2 Inland Empire reporter Nicole Comstock is live at the DMV in Norco with details. Nicole.
That's right, Pat. The DMV is admitting that this was their mistake, and they say if you registered to vote here between April 23rd and August 5th, your voter information, including political party, might be wrong.
Now serving B12.
Take a number and wait your turn.
At window number 17.
That's the drill at the DMV.
Seems like it would be easier that way.
But 23,000 DMV customers who thought it would be easier to register to vote while already waiting in line to get their driver's licenses will soon receive this letter at their home. It says there was a processing error in their voter registration information, such as whether they chose to vote by mail, their choice of political party, or whether they intended to register to vote.
It's not good. I think there's some kind of conspiracy.
People visiting the DMV in Norco, like Mimi Aziz, are now worried about other sensitive information they entrust to the state agency.
I wonder what the outcome would be.
In a written statement, the Department of Motor Vehicles explained the errors were caused when DMV technicians had more than one customer record open on their computer screens at the same time, and those records were inadvertently merged. Some of those 23,000 customers did not complete an affidavit of registration to vote, and their records were sent erroneously to the Secretary of State.
It sounds like they created their own little monster, that they can't control.
How long do you think it will take the DMV to fix this problem?
A long time.
And if you think you registered to vote through the DMV during that time frame, you'll actually need to go to the Secretary of State's website on your own and check for errors and fix them by yourself. And we'll have a link on our website so you can do so on cbsla.com. Reporting live tonight, Nicole Comstock, CBS 2 News.
Now to some developing news. Police right now looking for a killer tonight at Sylmar. Officers found a man shot to death on San Fernando Road near Nurmi Street. Investigation in that area is expected to last for several more hours.
10-4.
Just an actor, got lucky.
That laugh, that charm. Fans of Burt Reynolds are remembering the iconic actor. Reynolds died today at the age of 82. And CBS 2's Greg Mills is live in Hollywood, where fans are remembering the bandit. Greg?
And Pat, we're on Hollywood Boulevard in front of the El Capitan Theater. Fans have been coming by, leaving flowers here tonight. And there's also been a tribute to him across Hollywood Boulevard. The Chinese Theater dimmed the lights in Burt Reynolds' honor, a sign of respect for a man who sought respect in Hollywood for so much of his career.
Oh, hello, Jack.
He finally got Hollywood's stamp of approval, an Oscar nomination for his role in Boogie Nights in 1997.
Well, the career high was that I got nominated for that film.
When he got that nomination, he just said, thank God.
Entertainment reporter Jeannie Wolf knew Reynolds for decades. Fans watched him from his early roles in TV westerns through his glory years in the 1980s, when there was nobody bigger than Burt in Hollywood.
He loves to remind people that he was #1 in the world for 5 years.
Don't stop it!
The first movie that really established Reynolds was Deliverance.
He said, if they remember one film of mine, I hope it's Deliverance. But you and I know it'll be Smokey and the Bandit.
Where are we going?
Yep, that one is #1, the fans' favorite.
Be Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit.
He loves that movie so much, he has restored 2 Trans Am bandits in Burt's honor. Smokey brought Burt and Sally Field together too, on and off the screen. She wrote, "My years with Burt never leave my mind. He will be in my history and my heart for as long as I live. Rest, buddy." Reynolds was bold. Who else but Burt would pose in all his glory and not much else in Cosmo? He owned the 80s. Nobody bigger.
He loved that the audience loved him, and he loved it when, highfalutin people said, Burt, I like your movies. He goes, you and 150 million others.
He fell in love with bombshell Lonnie Anderson, married, then a bitter divorce. She issued this statement, "He was a big part of my life for 12 years, and Quentin's loving father for 30 years. We will miss him and his great laugh." Boy, he did have a great laugh. I am inside this Bandit that a fan built. He told me $50,000 to recreate this puppy. And Pat and Jeff, I think you two would look great in this thing.
Well, not as good as you do, Greg. Not as good as you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Could be eastbound and down with that, Greg.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh. It's hot. It's hot. Whoa. Feel the heat? Yeah. Let's get out of here.
A couple recorded their escape from the Delta fire in Northern California.
Yeah, that fire broke out yesterday and has already devoured more than 22,000 acres in Shasta County. So far, there's no containment on this fire, and it has shut down about 45 miles of Interstate 5.
Now to a man and his friend hit while riding a scooter in Silver Lake, and the driver just takes off. CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen is live with new video tonight of the car that police are searching for. Jeff?
Guys, the collision happened at a dimly lit intersection up the street, and from there, the scooter was wedged underneath a BMW. The bike got pushed down this hill past that fire station all the way to that crosswalk right there, and that is where the driver backed up and then drove off.
It just breaks my heart.
Gabriel Ross is talking about this hit and run that was partially caught on camera. It happened just steps from his preschool, and he says there are several other schools nearby.
So I'd say within this little half-mile stretch, you have probably a couple thousand kids being served.
Police say this gray 2010 BMW 5 Series hit the rear of a scooter at the intersection of Glendale Boulevard and Waverly Drive just before 9 p.m. Tuesday night. Two men on the scooter were knocked off, but witnesses say the bike was pinned underneath the car and got pushed several hundred yards to the corner of Glendale and Rowena. From the video, you can see the BMW backing up to free itself of the scooter before it goes around the bike.
Wow.
Ted Toussaint and Hillary Reynolds were stunned by the video.
Just kind of evading it is just, that's a very cowardly thing to do.
We've learned 35-year-old Edris Velasquez is currently in a coma following the crash. Police say the driver of the car is a man with a beard with dark features between 35 and 40. In the meantime, Gabriel Ross has been working on a petition to add lights to the intersection where the crash happened.
Anything we can do to draw more attention to pedestrian traffic, I think would save more lives.
And Velasquez's family say that they've been told by doctors he will likely not survive his injuries. In the meantime, a $25,000 reward has been offered for information leading to an arrest in this case. We're live in Silver Lake. Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. Well, President Trump's inner circle tonight denying any involvement in a scathing New York Times op-ed.
And the president had plenty to say at a rally tonight. CBS 2's Tom Wade joins us with more on his defiant message.
Yep, defiant and on the attack once again. The president called the author of the op-ed gutless and said as a matter of national security, the New York Times should reveal who wrote the article. President Trump in Montana rallying supporters here to unseat a Democratic senator in November. Trump used some of his speech to take aim at the author of the anonymous op-ed published in the New York Times. That's the article reportedly written by a senior member of the Trump administration, someone who claims they are working from within to protect the country from the president himself.
The latest act of resistance is the op-ed published in the failing New York Times by an anonymous, gutless coward. You just look. He was, nobody knows who the hell he is, or she, although they put he, but probably that's a little disguise. That means it's she. But for the sake of our national security, the New York Times should publish his name at once. I think their reporters should go and investigate who it is. That would actually be a good scoop.
The author of the op-ed made scathing claims, including this. People inside Trump's orbit are, quote, working diligently from within to frustrate parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations, and that the root of the problem is the president's amorality.
I think it's a disgrace. The anonymous editorial published in the New York Times represents a new low in American journalism.
And Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders also issued a denial and tweeted out the phone number to the New York Times op-ed desk, encouraging people to call and ask for the author's identity. Pat and Jeff, back to you.
All right, thank you, Tom. Well, the hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh are expected to end tomorrow after another heated day on Capitol Hill.
Shame on my colleagues if they conceal them now.
You want to give up your emails right now? Make them public? I don't think you do.
Well, lawmakers battled over 100,000 documents related to Kavanaugh that the president did not release. Democrat Cory Booker risked disciplinary action after releasing material the committee labeled confidential.
California Senator Dianne Feinstein asked Kavanaugh about this 2003 email that read, quote, "I am not sure that all legal scholars refer to Roe, as in Roe versus Wade, as the settled law of the land at the Supreme Court level, since the court can always overrule its precedent, and 3 current justices on the court would do so."
This has been viewed as you saying that you don't think Roe is settled.
I'm always concerned with accuracy, and I thought that was not quite accurate description of all legal scholars.
Well, Kavanaugh was also asked whether he talked about the Mueller investigation with White House officials. He says he has not. Democrats fear the nominee would protect the president if the case makes it to the Supreme Court.
A suspect goes to town on a police cruiser. Still ahead, the bizarre fit.
Plus, a couple's promise to raise money for a homeless man ends with a police raid of their home.
This year, it's 100, 200-pound fish. So that's awesome. I mean, that just hasn't happened in years.
Yeah, these guys have the pictures to back up their big fish stories. The bluefin bonanza happening off our coast.
I know why, too.
The weather.
Good evening. Hey, coming up, everybody. I once caught a fish this big. Let's hear about the weather. It's on the way.
Let's take a look at the guest tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.